Hi, it's Bud. Let's play with one rosette and some carve areas just to get an idea of some of the kind of things we can do. It's basically experimental time. I'm going to learn as we go along, same as you, but I just want to see what my options are. Maybe I want to make a cornice board. Maybe I want to make a framing around the door. Maybe I want to make a wheel for a tea cart. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I brought up my designer screen in CarveWright. Let's go get a board, and just for the heck of it here, I'm going to make it 11 by 11. That would not work for a cornice board, but it gives me a better shot at something I may want to do later as far as sizing and all. Got a carve area laid out. Just make it a little smaller. Maybe as we go along we'll get rid of some of this stuff. I don't know if we can get rid of any of it now or not. I'm going to move this up here. It gives me a little more room. We'll just have to play with it as we go along. Alright, I've got my board. So let's go to patterns. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to pick one rosette that was just made the other day by one of the CarveWright members. And let's put it on the board here. About that size. And let's go layout, center, both ways. Okay, there's a rosette in the board. And if I rotate my board, I can do an isometric. That's one of the icons I've got. You can put up whatever icons you want. You can see what that looks like. Maybe I want to rotate it more than that. I just want to see what's going on. But that's a carve pattern within a board. And that's what that's going to look like. Just that rosette. Okay. Now if I click on it here, or if I click on it here, I can see it. You know, I'm activating it. What's an invert do? Well, there's the invert. Isometric. Okay. So it gives me recess pedals instead of the other way around. Okay, that's what the invert does. Depth-wise, I'm at 1 1/4", or not 1 1/4, 1/8 of an inch. I can change that to 1/4 inch. See what that does to me. That gives it more pronounced. And again, if I invert that, then that's what that pattern will look like at the depth of 1/4 of an inch. Height-wise, I can adjust that. Let's put it 900. It gives a little more depth to it, maybe. Take off the invert. There's my invert. That's just what I've done with the depths and the inverts. Okay, so let's square this thing up. And I don't need the pattern section anymore, so I'm trying to make this bigger so we can look at it. So I'll be right back. Well, basically, let me show you, in case you don't know. I can pattern list. What's that do to me? I didn't take it off. There. That took that pattern list off. Be right back. Okay, I want to get rid of this, and I found out that it's the carving toolbar. So there's that. So now, let me take this and move it up. It gives me a little more room. Okay, so now if I put a rectangle around this box, I think first off I'll make it a little bigger so you can see it. Start here and come across like that. And maybe I want to select a surface on that box, or well, let's just do a carve region to start with. Automatically goes to 1/4 of an inch. And of course here's your size. And that's what it looks like. Put it on isometric. Okay, that's a recess in that respect. Now if I highlight that rectangle and select a surface, I get a whole raft of domes that I can work with. But I'm going to take this button punch, looks like that, or this button punch too that looks like that. I just have to choose one of them. Now let's try this one to start with and see what it does. Well, I can see that it gives me this nice little taper here. If I was working on a cornice or something like that and I wanted a square and then a circle in it, that would work. And I can play with this and do my pluses and minuses and normals on anything to see what change I can make in it. Subtractive. But maybe there's a better way. Okay, maybe I don't want that square. Maybe I want this thing to kind of be subtle. So let's get rid of this rectangle. And let's go get a circle. And it's just playtime, okay? Start here in the center. Come out to about here. And let's lay out center both ways so that we have some perspective. Okay, there we are. Let's go to our carve region. And it's set to 1/4 inch and see what we got. Okay, perspective. Yeah, I don't like that line. I mean, maybe you do, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for subtle. And that's not subtle. Okay. So let's select the circle again. I like to come over here. It's easier than trying to find it here. I can do a lot of things on this carving list. Let's get rid of the carve region. This is just one way to do it. Okay, now let's come back and select the surface without doing a carve region. It's the same difference, but maybe we can do something. Now I have this button punch too, right? Okay. There we are. It does the same thing. Alright, now I've got to figure out what I want to do here. Okay, what happens if I invert it? It's still there. Okay. What if I set it 0.1? Alright. Now it's changed my rosette, but it gives me a more subtle deal that is just a depression in the wood. Okay, so now let's pick the rosette and let's make it an additive. Now that doesn't look bad. Well, I got my line again. it 0.1. Let's try 0.05. Let's just play. Alright. Let's do a different way, okay? Surface. That's this button punch. What happens if I do this one? Still got it. Let's take the normal off of there. And it's just playtime to see what we want to do here. Okay, select your surface. And I can hold down my left button and rotate this thing to see what it looks like. So that goes down on the edge. I think I want... Oh, wait a minute now. Alright, let's try something here. We got it inverted there. Let's see what we got. Isometric. Can't see much. But we just play. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I deleted the circle. Let's try it again here. Circle. Here. Go out. Layout. Center both. Select your surface. Button punch 2. Okay. And we'll play. Okay, here's our circle and here is our rosette. I don't like this line, but I'll come out with something. They're both set at normal. If I set the circle to additive, I don't see much change. If I set it to a negative, then the rosette becomes embedded a little bit. So that's what we've got there. Okay. So if I set it back to normal, and let's go to the rosette and do a negative. Go to the rosette and do a negative. Oh, okay. What do we got there? That's different. Okay. So what if we made both of these things larger? I'm going to click on this. Hold down Control, click on this. I've got them both. Let's come over here. Stretch them both at the same time. Ooh. Put a hole in the center. Okay. Can't go much deeper with that. Let's just take this one and bring it out. Uh-oh. Now we got holes all over. Let's go to the rear and see what it looks like. Aha! I can make, you know, if I had the right number of rosettes, I could make a clock with holes in it. And there's a hole in the center. Maybe it's too big for what I want, but I can do that kind of stuff. So there's my perspective. It almost looks like a wheel on an automobile or a T-card, doesn't it? That wouldn't be bad. So we do have that kind of option, don't we? What happened if we put another circle here and put it about like that, and select a carve region, and it went to a 1/4 inch. Let's make it a 0.01. Ooh, how about that? And whoops, let's go get that circle and make it bigger and bigger. Doesn't do anything in that respect. So go to edit, undo, edit, undo. There it is, the way I had it. Have I got everything centered? Let's see. Click on that one, hold control, click there, click there. Layout, center, everything. Okay, everything's centered. Rosette, what's my depth? It's a 1/4 inch, let's make it 0.4. Okay, we can make them bigger. What if I made it a 6/10 of an inch? 0.6. Okay, I can make them bigger. I can do what I want. From that standpoint, didn't change that much, but there is now no hole in the center, as you saw. Okay. So, maybe I want to circle, maybe I want to drill a hole now. Okay, there it is, and maybe I want it a 1/2 inch in diameter, which means I want let's see, what did I say? 1/2 inch rod. Okay, so I want 2 1/4 on the radius. So 0.25. Oh, if you want to put the O on it, doesn't make any difference. It's still the same thing. Layout, center, both ways. Okay. That's for the circle. Well, yeah, I can do that and do a depth, but there's maybe an easier way. Let's get rid of that circle. And let's go to drill. And let's do that. And it's a 1/4 inch hole. Is what it's going to do there. Let's change this to 0.25. That makes it a 1/2 inch hole. Come on. Come on, give me. Okay. Is that a 1/2 inch hole? Yeah, it's a 1/2 inch hole. I thought let's do this again. Let's see what I missed. Okay, through the board. That's what I was wanting to see. Or I could go a specific depth. Okay. So I want a 0.25. And it's a 1/2 inch hole. Layout, I want it centered both ways. Okay, so there I have a 1/2 inch hole. It just gets a little confusing sometimes. But now I've got the start of a wheel for a T-card or something like that. I can play Let's do another circle. And we'll come in here and do it about like this. And let's select the surface. And maybe try this one. Don't know if it's going to change anything. Okay, it's 1/4 inch and the height here. Let's make that 900. So far I haven't seen any changes there. Maybe subtle. Yeah, a little bit of subtle with that dome on there as well. So there it is, circle. Let's make it additive. There. Okay, that gives me a more pronounced dome. If I make it subtractive, ooh, don't want that. Additive looks good. And if I make it a little larger, I can do that. Okay. So isometric again so we can see what it looks like. It doesn't look bad. If I remember everything I've done on this or write it down, I can do the same thing on the other side, and I can end up with a real wheel here. Okay, let's try another circle, and we'll go out a little bit bigger than that, just a hair. Let's choose a bit, and let's come down here and get something like a 1/4 round, and change this to 1/4, and say OK. Click outside it, isometric. Now I may be just a little bit too big for this board. So again, if I click on everything here, I can collapse it just a little bit to do what I want. Okay. So now if I pick that last circle, maybe I want to use a cutout on that. I'm not going to worry about how many tabs. It's going to give me 3 minimum per foot. I think I will rip the cut and hide the cutout and accept. And there we have a wheel. And it's just a matter of playing, doing what I want. And that, I think, is enough for this. But it's just, just play with something, get it the way you want. You can always go back and review and say, okay, what do I have here? It's a 1/4 inch deep on the circle cut. This is a 1/4 inch and the height is 900. Okay, there is a carve region, and we know it was that dome. Got the drill, we got this circle here. That is 1/100th. And there's also a carve region on that. I mean, that's what the depth is there. This is a 1/4 inch depth. Height is 100. And in my rosette, the depth is 6/10 of an inch, the height is 100. So that's just a little bit of playing with one rosette and seeing what you can do. I was wordy, but I hope you enjoyed the lesson.